Hello YouTube, and welcome back to another video here. Today I am going to be going over the rest of my IGL replays and my overview of the, not my overview of the league, but just what I thought of, playing in, Pokefinium for the first time, which was really cool. But we'll get into that later. Let me turn that. I got a new microphone, by the way. I don't know if you can tell or if it sounds good. I'm still messing around with the audio stuff. Hopefully you can hear everything I'm gonna say, which is kind of important to the video, obviously. So first, as you saw last time, we had our quarterfinal game against Cupid, and we beat them. So then we had our game against Kurse, our semifinals game against Kurse here. And hold on. First. How do I get the protagonist view? How do I get the protagonist view? Alright. So now that we've got the protagonist view here, otherwise known as the superior viewpoint and POV, I am going to talk about this game, and we're going to go over it together. So here, I'm looking at the lead matchup, and he brings... Okay, actually, we can talk about the mons he does have. I wasn't expecting him to... Actually, I was expecting everything here, to be honest with you. This man has... Where is his team? He has Zygarde, 50%, Rotom Heat, Delmise, Mandibuzz, Miltank, Mega Gardevoir, Arctovish, Corviknight, Deoxys Defense, Persian Alola, and then Intelligent. So I expected these 6 to come. I could have seen Intelligent over the Arctovish. But lead matchup here, what I'm looking at is he has nothing that outspeeds both Gallade and Dragapult. So those two are great this game. The only thing he can do is either +1, what is that thing? +1 Zygarde, or he could be Scarfed Arctovish. Even which I don't think Scarfed Arctovish was actually outspeeding Dragapult, my Dragapult set anyway, but he could have been it, and it could have been very annoying. I'm expecting Spadef Corviknight. I'm expecting Spadef Corviknight and Fizdef Mandibuzz, along with obviously some variant of physical attacking. What is that thing? Why can't I remember? Zygarde, and then Nasty Plot or Scarfed Rotom Heat. But I don't believe it'll be Scarfed Rotom Heat, because I don't think Scarfed Rotom Heat was doing too much to Dragapult anyway. Unless of course it was HP Ice or Dark Pulse. Even then, I didn't see it coming. He could have been tricked though. So anyway, I decided that my lead is going to be Gliscor. Our Gliscor set is Taunt, Toxic, Roost, and Knockoff, which matched up pretty well against everything he has here, except that it matches up against everything except this thing right here. I was expecting this lead with your standard Toxic Rocks, Taunt, Screens, or whatever. So I go ahead and I lead the Gliscor. As you can see though, he leads the Zygarde, and my first thought process here, he leads it. He could be D-Dance. I wasn't 100% sure, but I didn't want to risk him being D-Dance and then or substitute, because if I taunt on the sub, then it's not a big deal. But he goes ahead and glares here, which is annoying. So we're gonna get paralyzed, and we're not gonna be getting our recovery back from our poison heal. I go ahead and fire off a taunt, but I get paralyzed. Corviknight comes in here, and I taunt this Corviknight, which is cool, because I was actually thinking that agility, bulk up, body press, power trip could kind of like run through my team. So I taunt this, and I can kind of scout his set. He's gonna go ahead and click Brave Bird, which means he's not the set I was worried about, so I don't have to worry about that. Agility, bulk up, or iron defense, of course, could still be a problem. But at this point, I wasn't too worried about that. We knock off the leftovers, which is big, and I'm gonna go straight into Vaporeon. It covered a couple things. It didn't cover too much, but it let me come to this thing on the Brave Bird and then flip turn out. Because our flip turn, Ice Beam, Wish, and Protect. This was going to be our Zygarde breaker. He's going to sub Corviknight, which is fine by me because we have infiltrated Dragapult. Dragapult come here and click Thunderbolt for free. We are Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, Draco, and U-turn. Reason being is Fire Blast into Thunderbolt or Thunderbolt into Fire Blast would always OHKO or 2-KO Spadef Corviknight. Thunderbolt is 2-hit killing Mandibuzz, so I just throw out Thunderbolt there. It's the safest option. He's going to get 2-hit KO'd. He's not leftover, so he's heavy duty boots. He goes into DO defense on my other Thunderbolt. I should have obviously predicted and gone into U-turn and go into go score. Actually, I'm going to talk about our win con. So our win con here is Gallade. So our Gallade stat right now is Substitute, Swords Dance, Drain Punch, Triple Axle. As you can see, if there is no Scarfer on his team, that sweeps as soon as we can set up, especially at this Corviknight percentage. If I do turn into that move, I actually probably wouldn't have, because he probably has Taunt on here, which would have been annoying. So hindsight 2020, I should have U-turned a 1 there, but Dragapult has already done his job. But of course, I wasn't gonna set up there because I was expecting Scarfed Arctovish and or Rotom Heat, and I wasn't gonna mess with that. So he knocks off my Toxicroak, which didn't matter anyway. I'm going to fire up a Toxic on his Deoxys, which is good because we actually could only do about 73% at +2 with Triple Axle, all 3 hits. And I don't like banking on all 3 hits, so getting this down whittled as low as possible is great. So I'm going to just fire off a knockoff here and take it down. Now he's in range of 2 Triple Axle hits, which is great for us. Mandibuzz comes in here on the... He's going to Roost, so I Toxic again. This means he cannot switch into anything, especially now. Like I can fire off Fire Blast or Draco's easier now. Because he can't switch in. I'm going to set Misty Terrain here, which is kind of a mistake. I go into Dapper for, I don't know what reason, to defog these rocks away. Plus, I thought maybe he'd Foul Play on my... I thought he would do something else. Or possibly just want to Toxic himself. So I do this instead. I go into Dapper, and I go ahead and click defog. Main issue is here. So, right here, I'm like, we can take 2 right now. We are able to take 2. Actually, I believe we're able to take 2 or 3 of these. But he's going to go ahead and just fire off 1,000 arrows, and it's going to do about 80, it does 84%. So this is Adamant Banded Zygarde, which means his set is Glare, 1,000 arrows, Dragon Move, and E-Speed. That's his set 100%. There's no way it's not that set. He needs 1,000 arrows, obviously. 1,000 arrows won't kill Dragapult at full, especially bulky Dragapult. So he has to be Dragon Move for the Pult. And he needs to be E-Speed for his speed control because he has no Scarfer. This tells me he also has no Scarfer if he has this Bandit Zygarde. So I'm like, okay, so I know this calc already. I just need to be above 50% with Gallade and I can live any hit. So Defog comes out here. I get rid of the rocks and the terrain, which is great. And I'm going to go Hard Vaporeon. I thought I could take 2, but as you can see here, we actually don't take 2, which is annoying. So I just Protect here to get some more leftovers recover, and I sack off the Reezing. So he's gonna come in here, set terrain, which is annoying. Now I can't go into Dragapult because I'm grounded, and I won't be killing him with Draco Meteor, which is really frustrating. So I'm forced kind of into Gallade Triple Axle here. If I sub tier, I also could have won the game, but I just Triple Axle and take out this Deoxys. I don't take out this Deoxys, but Toxic takes it out for me. Had I subbed there and Swords Dance, I would have won. So Mandibuzz comes to here. I'm not too keen on taking foul plays, and plus I want to get Vaporeon up healthy. So I predict the foul play, go into Vaporeon, I can fire off a Wish for free and get Percy kind of back up to health, so I can take 1 from Zygarde, which is a really big deal. But he goes into Arctovish, so I protect on his substitute. So this is automatically, I think it's sub. What do you call that move? I think it's sub Freeze Dry, Vicious Run. He's gonna go ahead and fire off a Meteor Beam here, which is something I wasn't expecting. My brain for some reason was still only thinking neutral, and I knew for a fact that neutral. Okay. Also, that was a big misplay. I don't know what I was thinking there. I don't know why I did that. There's no reason for me not to like switch out or sack off something, or like anything. But again, this is not a big deal because we have Infiltrated Dragapult, and you know it's not. I'm not worried about it. So he's gonna go ahead and click Freeze Dry. I knew I could live 1 Freeze Dry, but I forgot about the special attack rate, so we're gonna lose this thing right here, which isn't too big of a deal. Blissey comes in here. Blissey's taking like 50% from Vicious Run depending on the spread. As you see, we're gonna take 45, which is annoying but not that bad. Sidewing Toss is gonna break the sub and force him to sub again or switch out. He switches into Corviknight, which is fine. Again, I don't really care about this Corviknight because he's forced to boost, so I get to go free into Dragapult here every single time, or Gallade. I go into Gallade here. I'm not sure why. I should have gone into Dragapult. I believe I got too greedy, but right here I can't set up and I can't Swords Dance because I'll be too low. So right now we're still in a position where we kill. It does 72 with 3 hits. Triple Axle does. So I go into Gliscor on the double to Rotom Heat. He nasty plots. I toxic or I knock off, which is boost, which is great for me. Another thing this did is we lost this Gliscor here. So far we've played poorly, but I didn't want to risk switching into Arctovish and being able just to take my Blissey from me. That was a roll, I believe, and it was actually a roll in his favor to get the kill. So I wasn't exactly sure what to do there, but obviously we're in a position to win. So now that we've lost this was paralyzed anyway, and I really wasn't walling anything, so it was a good sack for us. But now that we're in this situation, I take status of the field, and I'm like, okay, his set here is Glare, 1,000 Arrows, Extreme Speed, Dragon Move. He's Roost, Foul Play, Defog. He is Sub, Bulk Up, Body Press. Sub, Brave Bird, Bulk Up, Roost. That's the only reason your substitute is if you have Bulk Up. He is this set right here, and he is obviously, the basic Nasty Plot. So I'm like, okay, I have nothing to set up on. Genuinely nothing with Gallade. Foul Play will 2-hit KO, and I can't kill Corviknight without a +2 boost. I just can't. I can't set up a Corviknight because I'll be taking 40%, and that will let me. I'll be taking 70% to my Gallade. I will, kill this thing, but then I get revenge killed my Choice Banded Extreme Speed. I can't set up on Arctovish because Vicious Rend is going to be doing a lot of damage, and if anything, the Swords Dance into Vicious Rend will also put me in a bad spot. But I could have set up on this thing, but again, he had no reason to stay in on my Gallade and do anything but sub. He was only subbing if Blissey was out, so I couldn't set up on that because, obviously. Right now, the only thing I can set up on is this Rotom. If I don't set up on this, I can set up on the Zygarde and threaten it out with Triple Axle, but he has no reason to bring Zygarde in at this point. He has zero reason to bring Zygarde in because Extreme Speed, he can't take out this Dragapult. All he has to do is get Corviknight in on a positive matchup against Blissey and Roost up, and he can just stall the game out because I have Life Orb, and he can just double Roost with both these mons, and I just lose the game because I have Life Orb. So I take stock of that situation, and I say, now I'm kind of forced to do this, right? I only have 3 mons. I don't have nearly enough switch-ins, so I go and take a late, and maybe if he switches, I get the sub off. So I substitute here. He does not switch, unfortunately. He's going to fire off the discharge, so I just click Swords Dance. If I had Swords... Okay, so Swords Dance, if I get the Swords Dance, +2, I kill this thing with Drain Punch. I will kill Mandibuzz. I will kill Zygarde. I will kill Corviknight. I will kill Arctovish, and Zygarde will not be able to kill me even with the crit. Okay, even with the crit Extreme Speed, I wouldn't die because I would have the recovery from Drain Punch. So he's going to fire off, I'm going to Swords Dance, he fires off a discharge, and he paralyzes me. I lost the game right here. I could not bring this game back because I only have Life Orb, Dragapult, and I only have 1 switch, and that switch does not beat Zygarde and Arctovish. So I've lost the game here. He discharges again. I just Drain Punch here for whatever reason. Even right now, I'm going to get this health back. I live a Extreme Speed. So if he got into that to Extreme Speed, I could have at least taken Zygarde, and it could have been a winnable matchup because, as we saw earlier, I lived that Vicious Rend, and I could have, prayed for no crits. And enough chip, and Dragapult maybe could have won the game, especially with Signature Summon. But that was only if you went into Zygarde here and clicked Banded Extreme Speed. And by the way, that's Adamant Banded. My HP spread lets me live 2 of those. Of course, he goes into Mandibuzz, and as I say here, I don't know if you can see that in the chat, but I say that's game. Because at that point, the game was over. I needed to not get paralyzed, and I swept at that point. I try to preserve and switch out into Blissey. Of course, it's all just a futile act at this point. Brave Bird kills here. He is this set right here, which is why it was really imperative I set up while it was not here, because obviously I could have swept. We talked about it already. Trebuchet comes out here. I Thunderbolt the Arctovish. There's no way I can win at this point. This is cool, but it didn't matter anyway because he has 2 mons that can just roost stall me if it comes to that, and all of that. And I'm Life Orb. I'm only able to stick around for about 7 or 8 more turns at the max. Um, and that's just, now it's over. Mana Boost comes in here, going to Blissey. I don't know, trying to preserve a win somehow. I didn't want to give up on this game, even though at this point he kind of just goes into Zygarde and just clicks Dragon Move, and I lose. He reveals to be Outrage later, so that's why he couldn't do it, but at this point, 1,000 Arrows killed. So I Thunderbolt the Corviknight. I'm just losing health here, obviously, and I'm going to skip ahead. So I wasn't salty. I was just disappointed that this is the second time now I'm getting forced out and losing. I've been losing a lot to para hacks recently. Hacks in general, I've been really unlucky. So I was just really sad, because I really did want to win this league, and yeah. So he says, obviously has banded E-Speed because he's banded. There's no reason not to have E-Speed if you're banded. So I show him the calc, and I live the crit, especially after that Drain Punch. So Mana Buzz is going to go down here, but it ultimately doesn't matter, as he just goes into Zygarde. And I don't know what he's doing here. He's kind of just prolonging the end. But then he finally takes me out. So that is going to be the end of our IGL run. Now, it's disappointing for sure. Kurse obviously played well. This is an interesting prep on his part. I expected the Corviknight and Mandibuzz to an extent. I expected Deoxys. The Banded Zygarde was interesting. And the Arctivish Power Herb, Meteor Beam was also excellent tech. And that's just really good prep on his part. I'm just really upset that I didn't get to use this team. And I'm really upset at a few things. I'm not upset as more I am just... I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. But first, no bad blood to Kurse. He played well. He's undefeated this season, so I hope he definitely takes the win in championships. So I'm rooting for your Kurse 100% of the time. Go get him. What I am upset about, and I could have said this at the end. I'll just check the timestamp. 17:13. So Andy, hey, what's up, man? This is, my first time being a part of the IGL. And I know it's not usually like this, but I just was really disappointed in how Majors was ran this season. I understand that Snail, who was running it, got busy and everything, but there are ways to fix that problem. Obviously it's not squarely on your guys' shoulder. Some people dropped out, but that's why you're the owners, right? You have to find ways around that, like you kind of do. You have all those replacement roles and everything, but it kind of feels like stats haven't been done since week 3. That's part of whoever's running this division's fault, right? That it's ultimately the owner's fault. And I'm not trying to be rude or pass judgment or anything. I'm just saying, as a competitor, as someone who has been told only great things about Pokefinium, for the league to be ignored, at least our division to be ignored that way, was really frustrating. And what was even more frustrating is we were all voicing our concerns in general chat, and the next day standings or draft news came out, whatever it was, and listed kill leaders, and the kill leaders were exactly the same as last week. None of the new stats had been inputted, and it was like, you guys didn't even watch the replays or check the stats or do anything to make sure. And it almost felt like it was like people were dropping out of majors, so you just stopped caring about it, or whoever was running it left and you just stopped caring about it. And that was really annoying to me because I don't do anything half booty. I want to do my very best for every league I'm in, every situation, every battle. I really do want to win. And it was just really annoying when all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're going straight to playoffs, and I haven't gotten to experiment with the team. It's only been 4 weeks or 5. It's only been 5 weeks, and we're already voice crack, and we're already going into playoffs. That was obviously, I've already said it's frustrating. I know for a fact it was frustrating for everyone playing too. And I was really hyped to be a part of Pokefinium. And just to be let down that way is, the way it is. I run a league with Orange, and we've only done it for 3 successful seasons, and we're obviously not doing 100 different leagues like that. I saw you guys are minimizing the amount of divisions, which is great. I think is the move you needed to make, because to avoid people like whoever is in majors right now getting messed up like we were this season. So yeah, that's kind of it. If I get invited back to another Pokefinium season, I will gladly join. This is obviously a bad first experience, of course, on my end, but making it to semis, even if the league was only 5 weeks long, is pretty okay. Losing to hacks is obviously very frustrating, but if I do get invited back to another league, I will gladly join it. I will give it another chance, and I do hope that I get invited back in the future. Please don't take this as like I'm really upset or I'm hating on the league. I'm just saying, as someone who is trying to win, comes in with a competitive mindset for a competitive league, that it being cast to the wayside the way it was a little annoying. But anyway, goodbye, God bless, and have a great day.